What is up, guys? Pinku49 here. We are back on the Desolation map. And it's been a while. I apologize. I kind of just disappeared there for a second. I was going to make a video saying that I was going on vacation, but I just ran out of time. You know how it is when you go on vacation. There's so many things to do ahead of time, and I just ran out of time. I couldn't do it. I'm sorry, but I'm back. Did you miss me? Maybe. Probably not. That's okay if you didn't miss me. I get it. But I'm back here now. I'm ready to get back into the swing of things. And, you know, the swing of things means Minecraft videos. It also means working on Desolation. So that's what I'm going to be doing here today. I'm going to be working on Desolation. And one thing that I feel like it's missing, one thing I feel like that we need to work on a little bit more on the Desolation map is vehicles. Oh, what was that? I don't have enough vehicles? No, I got so many vehicles, guys, but you know, there's never enough. That's part of what makes Desolation special, is all the work, the care, the love, the attention that goes into the cars around the city. And so that's what I'm going to work on today. Try to kind of gap between Chinatown and downtown. There's like a huge gap there, and it just seems out of place. So that's what I want to work on today. And so it's going to be a lot of car work, and I know it seems rather repetitive. A lot of you have seen my cars, and you know how I do cars. But, you know, like I always say when I do cars, I try to do differently. I try my best. So even though I'm doing cars yet again, I still challenge myself to think outside the box, to be creative, and to do something that I've never done before. So hopefully we get to see some of that today. Alright, so as you've noticed, we're in fast forward motion. That can only mean one thing. Just one. That means it's Monday. That means it's Creative Question of the Week time, the part of the series where I answer questions provided by you, the community. And I think the last Creative Question video didn't have any questions on it. What happened, guys? I think, I don't know. It felt like a lifetime ago. Yeah, it feels like a lifetime ago. The last CQotW, but yeah, I don't remember seeing too many questions. But fortunately, I got some questions via Twitter. And so that's what I'm going to answer today. I got two questions asking pretty much the same thing. So let's get right on into it. The first question comes from IGLZenix, and he says, "Welcome back for when you get back today, Bean. I hope you had an enjoyable time in Arizona at the Tucson Gem Show." That wasn't the right question. Oh well, he asked me a question about it. Okay, that's the wrong thing. But anyway, the real question comes from Fun Time Springtrap. Since you've recently visited a crystal show, what was it like there? And how strong did you feel the energy of crystals? And do you have any awesome pictures to show us? From Fun Time Springs Trap. Thank you very much, IGL Zenix. Thank you very much, Fun Time Springs Trap. I appreciate those questions. And if you have any inclination to ask a question, put it in the comment section below right now. Any question about anything. I don't care what it is. Anyway, let's get into the answering of it. Yes! For those of you who don't know, I spent the last... how long have I been gone? I don't know. A week and a half, 2 weeks in Tucson, Arizona. And Tucson, Arizona is host to the largest crystal and gem show in the world. Period. So basically what happens is not the whole city, but a large portion of the city just turns into a gem show, and the entire crystal community, the world from every country, comes to sell, share, trade crystals, and it's massive. And so what I did is we rented a camper, drove down there, stayed in a campground, and just every single day went to crystal shows. Every single day. There's something like 41 shows, and the first thing that I noticed, the first thing that struck me was how overwhelming it truly is. When I say this is the largest crystal and gem show in the world, I mean it. It's the largest crystal and gem show in the world. Something like 41 shows, each show with thousands of tents, each tent with a vendor, just selling crystals. And, you know, they're all competing with each other for pricing. So it's a great place to stock up on crystals for relatively low price. And it's just, it was a great experience, but it was so overwhelming. It was like literally trillions of crystals. Trillions of them. No, more like billions of them. And so it can be a bit overwhelming, and you know, each of these crystals is exuding a particular energy. And I've talked about this in the past, I believe. I think I talked about crystals, right? In one of my creative questions of the week. You can go search that out. I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, I did. So you can go search that out if you want to learn more about my crystal experiences. But yeah, it was a great experience going to this thing. It was, like I said, a little bit overwhelming, but I learned so much, and I'm very grateful to have had the experience. I'm definitely going to be going back in the future, and I will be showing off some pictures as I build here, as I do some cars and stuff like that. Every kind of crystal you can imagine, from crystals the size of homes, crystals the size of cars, to crystals the size like where you need a microscope, and everything in between, every single size of crystal, every single shape, every single color, every single type of crystal that the earth produces, and more can be found there. And so it was an eye-opening experience, to be sure. You know, no matter how much you know about crystals, going to the Tucson Gem Show is going to open your eyes about new things, and you're going to learn new things. And I learned a lot of new things. You know, I had no pretense about knowing everything about crystals, but it's like you don't really know how much you don't know until your eyes have been opened in that way. So it made me realize how much I don't know, made me realize how much there is to learn, and made me realize how much I love crystals, because, you know, I had no problem waking up every day and, you know, early in the morning, going out to the crystal shows, walking for miles and miles and miles in the desert sun, in the desert heat. You know, a lot of these shows are outdoors, and we're in the desert. Tucson, Arizona is in the desert, so it was very hot. Even though it's winter, it was still very hot, very dry, and just walking for miles and miles and miles, trying to see every single booth, which is what I try to do. I try to go to every single booth. Why not? Why wouldn't you go to every single booth? And so, yeah, it was very, you know, by the end of the trip, I was exhausted. Oh my goodness, you have no idea how tired I was. But I had a lot of crystals in tow, and, you know, a lot of new toys to play with, so I was very happy about it, and it was a very unique experience. And then, what did Fun Time Spring Chep ask? He also asked, do I have any pictures, and how strong did you feel the energy of crystals? It's so, for me personally, I can only answer for me personally. I can sort of feel crystal energy when I'm just around crystals, sort of, in a very subtle. Subtle is the word I'm looking for. In a very subtle way, I can feel crystals' energy when I'm just around crystals, and it's not something you say, "Oh, this crystal is like." For me personally, some people are different, but for me personally, it's not like I hold a crystal and I'm like, "Oh my goodness, that's this type of energy," blah blah blah. You know, I just feel a general feeling, and it's very subtle, and, you know, it's not really noticeable. So you know, during the gem show, you kind of intuitively pick crystals, and you just kind of pick the crystals that you vibe with, that you can kind of feel that they're calling you. And, you know, that's true of most crystals, is that the crystal finds you, you don't find the crystal. Generally, when people go to shows, they'll just walk around until a crystal jumps out at them. Not because of the way it looks, although that does play into it, but the way it makes you feel. And the crystal that wants to work with you will let itself be known. You have to remember that these crystals have a consciousness. Yes, they're rocks. Yes, we've been led to believe that, you know, rocks don't have consciousness. But on an energetic level, these stones, these crystals, absolutely have a consciousness. It's not like yours or I or your or mine, but they emit a particular vibration. And so you can almost look at them as people, because, you know, as each person that you meet has a different vibration, a different vibe to them. Each crystal that you meet has a different vibration, a different vibe to them. So yeah, when I go around the show, I kind of intuitively pick crystals, you know, which one feels good. You know, if you pick it up, you touch it, you kind of get the overall sense that it's emitting, but you don't really get into the energy. But for me personally, when I take a crystal into meditation, I distinctly feel the energy. So it's very hard in like a gem show setting. You're walking around, you're trying to pick out crystals. You can't like go into a meditation with each crystal to see if it wants to work with you. There's just no time for that, and there's no place to do it. But when I get home and I go take my new crystal into a meditation, I absolutely feel the energy 100%. And it's very noticeable. It's not subtle. When I take, again, this is for me personally, but when I take a crystal into a meditation, it's not subtle. The energy just hits me in the face like a ton of bricks, and then I say, "Oh, that's what this crystal was doing. That's the vibe I kind of sort of picked up on when I was buying it, right?" And so that's how I interact with crystals, is I use them in meditations. And This is something that I've worked up to. It's not something that you like anyone can just pick up a crystal and say, "Oh, I feel its energy." I know I've talked about this. I don't know till you're blue in the face. You're probably sick of me talking about it. But the reason why I can feel crystal energy, the reason why other people can feel it as well, is because they've opened up their third eye, and it's through the third eye, through the psychic avenues that you can feel the energy. Because these crystals are emitting an energy on the fourth, fifth, and higher dimensional levels. And if you're just going to use your five senses, then obviously it's just a rock, okay? If you're just going to use your five senses to sense this crystal, your touch, taste, smell, hearing, whatever the other one is, touch, taste, smell, hearing, and why can't I think of my five senses? I've lost my mind. Touch, okay, taste, smell, feeling, and hearing. No, feeling is same as touch. Whatever, you know what your five senses are. You don't need me to explain it. But if you're going to use those senses to experience the stones, then yeah, it's just going to be a rock. But if you use the sixth sense, if you can feel the stones on an energetic level, if you can feel the energy that they're emitting, they are absolutely powerful healing tools. And that's why I use crystals. That's why many people use crystals. You know, at the Gem Show, I met all sorts of people. I met people who use crystals for aesthetics. They like to decorate their home with them. And those people are using their five senses generally. Then there's people who are metaphysical like me who use crystals for crystal healing. There are artists there who use crystals to make art. There's, crystal people there who like to just dig them out of the ground. And, those are the mineralogical rock hound people. So at the Tucson Gem Show, we ran into every type of person that is involved in the crystal industry, and it's so large. It's larger than you can even fathom. Millions of people love crystals, and that's it was just evident by the amount of people and the amount of buzz in Tucson that I experienced. So it's a huge industry. A lot of people are involved, and it goes from everyone, from the people who mine the crystals out to the people who clean the crystals up, to the people who shape and polish the crystals, to the people who sell the raw crystals, to the people who are middlemen and get move crystals around, to the people who use crystals. And man, there's just like a whole chain of people who are involved in this industry, and the industry is gigantic. It's not as large as say the video game industry, obviously, but it's a lot of people are involved in this. And that was kind of one of the takeaways from the Tucson Gem Show, is just how large this industry is, how many people are involved, and just how positive the people are. That's the one thing I should really say about the Tucson Gem Show, is that the vibes there are incredible. Everyone is happy. No one is there to like screw anyone over on a deal. If people like you, if you're friendly to them, they'll give you a discount. They're just very nice people, and they come from all over the world. You see different cultures, right? There's people from India, Madagascar, China, every country basically that has crystals in it, which is every country in the world, was there, and it was just a beautiful experience. And I'm definitely going to be going back. If you have any interest in crystals, I think you should make it a goal in your life at least once to head on over to Arizona, if that's feasible for you, if you love crystals, because everyone has to go there if you love crystals. It's like the crystal mecca, right? You should make your pilgrimage and head on over there. So yeah, I've been showing pictures while I've been talking. If you want to see more pictures, and if you want to hear me talk about it a little bit more, I do have a video on my other channel, my tarot channel, which I'll put in the card so you can check that out. And I go into depth about my experience in Tucson and share kind of the stones that I bought. I bought a lot of stones, which I'll be selling on my Etsy shop, also on my Instagram. So that's kind of another reason why I went there, is to stock up my shop and get some cool stuff for people to purchase if they want. Man, I'm still in it's hard to get back into Minecraft, right? I'm just so surrounded and just ensconced in crystal energy. All I want to do is hang out with crystals, right? What I mean? It was just such a great experience. Have you ever had a fun party or fun trip, and the energy of that party or that trip really stays with you for days or maybe even weeks, and you just can't get out of the mentality that you were in when you were in that place, right? And that's kind of what's happening with me. I'm still mentally, I'm still in Arizona, right? Physically, I'm back home and ready to work and do what I do, but mentally, I'm just like, man, I could wake up walk to millions of crystals, hang out with some great people who are all like sharing my same interests, who are all happy, who are all excited as me to be there, and spend the entire day doing that. Go to sleep early and then wake up again early to do it all over again. There's no shortage of shows. Like I said, 41 different shows. It was just, and each show had a different vibe to it, a different type of crystals to find. And oh my goodness, I want to go back so bad. I'm going to go back next year for sure. For sure. So we're winding down on this video, and I want to thank you for listening to me. I know a lot of you aren't into crystals, and that's fine. That's okay. You don't have to be. Not everyone is. But, you know, and the thing about crystals is, if you do want to get into it, it's not like a hobby or something that would cost like thousands of dollars to get into. If you have $1, you can buy a crystal. And that could be the start of something big. Although I do warn you that once you start feeling the energy of crystals, you're not going to stop buying crystals. It's just not going to happen. Because every crystal is different. Every crystal emits a different energy. Even two crystals of the same type, like for instance 2 amethysts, even though they're the same crystal, they don't necessarily have the same vibration, the same frequency, the same feeling to them. So it's a never-ending journey, but it's a fun one to say the least. So if you are into crystals, or if you're thinking about it, just get yourself a cheap one. And I recommend clear quartz or amethyst to begin with, and see where that takes you. Alright, that's the creative question of the week for today. I want to thank IGL Zenix and Funtime Springs Trap for asking me the question. Remember to put a question in the comment section below so we have something to talk about next week. It doesn't have to be about crystals. It could be about anything. I'm excited to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. That's the goal of this series. And please leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Let me know you liked it, got something out of it. Put your questions in the comment section below. Subscribe if you haven't already for more creative questions of the week. And just have a great week, guys. All right. Leave a like if you enjoyed this. Happy Minecrafting. Peace.